Alright, welcome to the final video from Taco Bell. Um, on the road back from Intelligentsia Cup. This is day 10 of Intelligentsia Cup, the Fulton Street Crit. Started out pretty hectic. Somebody got on the course that was a pedestrian and had to do a little swerve around him, jumping into a few attacks by the guys. It was a pretty fast race, so attacks were possible on the backstretch, but they'd pretty much get swarmed up once the field's momentum caught back up. Yeah, super fast. No real corners that you had to jump out of. Pretty much pedaled through all of them, except for the second one coming up here, where oftentimes we were coming in pretty wide, so had to check up. The front straight was usually a pretty good spot to attack coming out of the final corner. You can see I just had momentum and sent it there. I was off in front for a few laps and got joined by a few people, but ultimately nothing got away. Coming into the last 15 laps, Legion ended up taking up the front, and they'd form their train, which was pretty hard on this. You can actually see here a little interaction between some guys. He's jumping on his rear tire. This guy's like, "Are you flat?" It's like, "I don't know." And then we continued racing. Going on into the Legion train here, I'm on Magner's wheel. This is really early. They're just kind of assembling. They're not really taking up the front yet, but into the chicane, a lot of the guys would try and rush it, and then we have too many people coming in. You can see Riley's kind of jamming in, and Magner brake checked. I actually got somebody's shifter just right into a butt cheek there when I brake checked after Magner, so that was pretty fun. Going to the course here, you can see it's pretty straightforward, fast chicane on the backside, and then a long finish stretch. This is a finish stretch here where a lot of people swarm. It actually narrows into the finish itself with all this barricading here. You could have seen Johnny Clark just pointing me out of that. And then once it opens back up, there's a nice opening in the inside. You could go through the inside, but a lot of people were chopping the first corner. There was often space on the inside of it, so pretty easy to chop that corner. This one here, the second corner rather, was a little less easy to chop. There was a grate on the inside, so you might lose momentum if you got pushed too far inside. Here I'm bringing Ethan up alongside kind of the trains that are coming. Legion's got their guys formed up. I think, yeah, probably 14 laps ago is when they started this, and you can see we're just kind of following the momentum around, trying to get our guys out of the mess back there, into a little bit more efficient position. This one was a really hard course to take up the front, just because you had to hit it so hard and guard the corners. You can see that they got separated there, and that they'd have to come right back around Miami Knights there, which pretty much happened at every corner for them. This backstretch with the chicane was maybe the easiest one to do, but even then, other trains could come up on you, like is happening right here. UNC Lotto was doing this a lot. They had 3 or 4 guys that were trying to rush up, and then also Mighty Q had a guy or two they were able to get up and kind of train race. If you watch this red guy here, he would actually be leading the UNC Lotto train right here, and Ty's quickly dispensing of him. Got a little B-roll from him afterwards there, but yeah, that was a good job, excellently done into that chicane just to get that train out of the way. And then once you get out of that train, usually the guys behind are just going to be the first to take that wheel, so you get pushed 3 wheels behind the train, which is just going to cost more energy on the next stretch. ACG was actually able to assemble a pretty good train. They would end up winning the race, but they had a few guys that were very protective of the corners and just kind of used Legion's train to their advantage, which was kind of cool. But yeah, Legion had to spend a lot of guys on this, and we were doing the best we could. We separated a little bit. Ethan, Cade, Hugo, and I, and Eric was kind of sweeping for us there. every once in a while we'd get back together, and you could see this work hard, be humble guy was kind of trying to get into our train here, and I would have to like get my bars in front of him, and then I ended up making a lot of contact with him there and just pushed him kind of into Hugo. He ended up like getting out of the way, and he came up over here. You'll see him on the left saying like, sorry for getting in your train, which yeah, was fine, but rather not fight with him in the first place. Later on, you can see he was taking a pretty good dive bomb into this corner. That was a lot of crossing up just to end up in the same spot that I did. But a lot of guys were doing that into that chicane just to try and make up as much space as they could without spending energy. Coming into kind of the final laps, it was getting really hectic like that into every corner. Every train was trying to form and keep their guys out of harm's way, but in the end it just ended up being like a giant wash machine behind whoever's train was on the front, which I think was mostly Legion of Los Angeles. And then ACG right there formed behind them. I'm bringing Ethan up for one final last push here. We actually ended up next to Hugo, and then Cade, our other sprinter, is up next to ACG there, which is hard to do when we're kind of spread apart like this. So coming into the last corner, we're all back together in probably 10th wheel. I think Cade was a little farther up there, but it's a really long sprint, so I actually opened it up from the corner and we just stalled out here, so there's still a big gap to that front group. I think I rolled in for like 24th or something like that. Cade ended up 5th place, which is pretty strong from him. ACG ended up winning with one of their guys, and I think they put a guy in like 3rd as well, so pretty good effort from them. And yeah, overall pretty hectic race, but good fast crit to end the Intelligentsia Cup. Thanks everybody for watching and coming up and say hi. Really enjoyed doing these videos, and glad other people did too. Let me know if you want some more. I'll probably be doing Winston-Salem Cup this weekend, and then a few other races later on. See ya.